Hello again everybody, and welcome to the deployment campaign in the Ka-50 Black Shark. Now, it's been several years since I've tackled this aircraft. I'm revisiting it right now, and before I start the campaign, I'm taking a few minutes to refamiliarize myself with, well, a few minutes is an understatement. I'm taking as much time as I need to refamiliarize myself with the weapon system, and I also have a test flight series for the Ka-50 going at the same time, but I'm on the Shooting Gallery instant action mission right now, and I've got a tank out there in the distance lined up, and I'm going to take him out with the primary weapon on the Ka-50, the TrackIR guided missile. So let me bring the aircraft around until I get the shoot cue, fire the missile. Let's see how this does. Okay, good hit. So this campaign, as far as I ever got in it when I was flying the Ka-50, was the first mission. I know that it's really just a navigation exercise, is all the first mission amounts to. That's why I'm including some stuff blowing up in it up front to begin with. I don't know how long these campaign missions are going to take. Now, the key to me in the Ka-50 or any attack helicopter that I ever fly in any simulation, and it's been a long time, is staying patient. That was always my downfall before, is that I would rush into a situation. Like right now, I am so tempted to start to close in and start to, fire the gun, fire some rockets. But what I need to do is just stay patient, maintain my distance, use my systems, use my wingman, and just keep my wits about me. I don't have to make all the attacks right now. I can make a few right here, find a better location, make a few from there, and go. So these might be longer missions, I don't know. We're going to see what we can make work here. Now, let me just switch over to the gun real quick, and I know I'm not going to have any kind of a range here, but let's see what we can do. Now, this is a semi-automatic, I guess, as far as the targeting system gun. It just is going to fire at whatever the target is if you have it in the right mode. So I can just stay out here, lob rounds in from a moderately long range. This is way too long, but yeah, you can see the effect that we get there. And it's a lot of fun, actually. It's going to be some good flying once we get into it. So, yeah, I'm loving this so far. So I'll tell you what, let me go through a good campaign description. We'll get into the first mission, and we'll see where we go from there. I'll be right back. And now we're going to get into the campaign description, and as always, if you want to skip ahead or just aren't interested in the mission briefings or the campaign status, feel free. You're all big boys and girls, and I don't have to babysit you. But I am, of course, going to take my time through this, go through the campaign, see what we're up against. I do in these videos full mission briefings so that we all know what we're getting into before getting into the mission. I show the mission from beginning to end. I'm going to mix in external views, and I'm also going to have a program called TACVIEW running that is going to give you, the viewer, I won't be able to see it, more situational awareness by displaying at key points exactly what's going on. And then after landing, I always do a fairly thorough debrief of the mission using TACVIEW. So these are long campaigns, and these are put together for people who are interested in following this over the long haul. So feel free to stick around. This should be a lot of fun as we get things going here. And now, the campaign description. By the summer of 2009, the situation in the Western Caucasus had become difficult. Funded by foreign Islamist movements, underground nationalist groups in the republics of Karachevo, Cherkessia, Kabardino-Balkaria, and southern Krasnodarsky and Stavropolsky, I'm going to butcher this, I'm sure, territories began terrorist activities in earnest. These included attacks on government authorities, interior, and military forces in the region. Realizing the danger of escalation towards a full-scale conflict, the leadership of the Russian Federation made the decision to impose a state of emergency in the region. In an effort to stabilize the situation, the Interior, Army, and Border Patrol units of the Southern Federal District have been substantially reinforced. So let's go ahead and kick this off. I'll hit next, and we'll get into the briefing. This is a fan flight, and this is a mission I have flown before. It's been years, but I know it's a navigation mission, and if I go to the second slide in the briefing, here's the route we're going to be following, and it's just getting us familiar with the terrain and taking us by, presumably, this will be one of the FARPs, forward arming and refueling points, that we're going to be working off of. So let's go through the briefing. It's 0800 start. My side is going to be Russia against Georgia, the insurgents, and Turkey. So the situation, FAM flight. On command orders, you are deployed as part of a separate combat helicopter squadron flying the Ka-50 under command of the 55th Separate Combat Helicopter Regiment, equipped with the Mi-24V. You are assigned as Flight 1 lead of the 3rd Separate Aviation Squadron Operations Headquarters, and ATC are temporarily positioned in the Mineral Lane Vody Air Base. The situation as of August 12, 2009, as a result of ongoing operations to eliminate enemy concentrations in the mountains of Karachevo-Cherkessia, the situation has somewhat stabilized. Throughout June and July, crews of the 55th worked intensely in support of the 10th Motorized Rifle Division and other attached units. Multiple strikes were flown against enemy targets, helping our forces secure key elevation points and strongholds. In addition, missions were flown in support of the Federal Border Patrol and the Federal Security Service and the Search and Rescue Service. Currently, the 55th operates 2 forward arming and refueling points FARPs south of Cherkesk, call signs Podkova and Vetka, in addition to a single FARP east of the village of Kransky Kurgan, near the Kislovsk Zapindi NDB station, call sign Torba. And the objective, 15th of August, Flight Lead, 3rd OAE will conduct a familiarization and reconnaissance flight under the lead of the 1st Aviation Squadron CO out of Podkova FARP. The flight route will be Cherkessk, Ust, Ziguta, Turzy, Krasny Kurgan, Kislovsk, Essentuki, Cherkessk, so just a circular out and back route. Flight altitude will be 600 to 1500 meters above sea level, and flight ready time will be 7:30, takeoff at 0800. No combat payload will be loaded, the fuel load at the FARP will be 50%, and conduct familiarization with visual landmarks and natural obstacles while en route. Warning, helicopter performance is impacted in mountainous regions. Review the altitude velocity envelope limitations before takeoff. And luckily the Ka-50 is ideal for operations in the mountainous regions. It's going to perform very well for us as long as we keep our speed up and don't, get too slow. And you can kind of bog down in a hover if you get into some higher altitudes. But yeah, more on that once we get into the mission. Got some moderate winds this time around. Can't really tell what kind of cloud cover we're going to have. I don't expect any problems though. We'll go to the mission planner just briefly to have a quick look around. Now, this, I'll have to check this out. I did a pretty detailed mission in the A10. It was a day advance on Kislovsk, so it was one of the combined arms missions that worked around this area, so it should be familiar when it comes to the landmarks. So into the town, up to Essentuki, and then back down. Got a nice lake to go over. We might make a detour out there just to check out the lake or reservoir or whatever that ends up being, and then back to the FARP, which is the, let me see, this is the Podkova FARP. And I've got another one down here south on the route, and I think this will end up being the one that we work out of. I expect it to be that, and that's the Torba FARP. And that was Kransky, whatever the word was, Kransky Kurgan is the little village there. Kislov's being the major town, and I think then we go south for the majority of missions. That's what I think happens, but yeah, I've never really been any further than this, so I might try. I've never actually tried. I mean, you don't really have to do like NDB or radio navigation since we have the Abris and we have the just onboard navigation system associated with that. But I don't know, 995. If it occurs to me, we might do some radio navigation en route here. But I think that's all that I need. This is a very simple mission. Not a whole heck of a lot more to plan here. So I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and get into the air and we'll get this thing going. Okay, here we go. Let's listen in. Okay, I might need to do some translating here. Okay, this is 1:05 morning. Today's mission is a fan flight, flight plan 0800. Proceeding along the Sukhumi military highway to Ust-Degusta to turn eastbound south of the city. Then 37 kilometers to Teriz, turn onto the Kislovsk-Zapindi NDB, pass over the Krasny Kurgan, north of Kislovsk, again another 15 kilometers to that town, Essentuki there, we'll take a heading of 280 back home. I'll brief you on the situation and point out landmarks as we go. Flight time 40 to 45 minutes, estimated takeoff in 3 minutes. Okay, got it, fair enough. Now it's just me, I'm not going to have a wingman. Okay, so let's see here. Not a whole lot to do other than get navigation stuff up and running. So, okay, I've got my Abris up. Let me see, map. I can zoom in just a little bit here, and we'll leave it at that. Okay, now navigation. I've got waypoint, steer point 1 selected. I'll bring up the heading and distance. So that's going to be 191 for 13.9. Okay, I'll leave my autopilot configured. Okay, radar, desired, go to desired track on my autopilot mode, and we'll do that here in a second. Okay, 2 minutes. Set up your Abers, check your IRCM systems. Yeah, good call, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so that's good for navigation. Okay, don't need to worry about data link. Now, countermeasures, I'll go to both dispensers. Let's see, I'm set up for 110. Let me go for 2 flare. Actually, what is that? No, that's it's going to be if I command the flares to dispense. Let's go for 6 sequences, 2 flares each, and what was the other one? Dispense interval. We'll do 2-second interval and leave that as like a default for now. Configuration on the countermeasures. Okay, everything else. Okay, nav lights. I'll go 10% just until we get things going. No, I'll go full intensity. I think so. I think they got it. Yeah, 100% on the nav lights. Okay, the rest of the stuff I'll leave as is. I don't need anti-ice. I don't need the dust protection. And we should be getting airborne here momentarily. I think that's good for his setup. I'm not going to need any of the weapon systems. I don't hope. I do not. Everything else is looking just fine. Okay, so ready when you are. This is the dude we're going to be following around. And I've got the, it's the Northern Europe texture replacement by Starwave that I'm trying out. I flew a test flight mission in the Ka-50 earlier. Really butchered. I don't know, I might actually scrap part of it because I've actually figured out the answer to a lot of the stuff that I was struggling with, particularly with the data link system. Yeah, just gotta, more than anything else as we get into the missions, I think I said it during the overview or during the little intro that, okay, turn heading 200, is that I just get so impatient in helos, and that's the last thing that you want to do in a helo. Okay, so let's go up on the collective. We are airborne, let's go gear up. Let me not overfly my support guys. We just take it out here along the highway, straight out to the left, follow the hind. Okay, and I've also got the civilian traffic, so that'll give us some stuff to watch pass underneath us as we get going. Let me avoid the tent. Okay, that'll work for a departure. Now, let me just make sure that I don't get too far out in front of this guy and cut into my speed just a touch. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, just gotta stay patient, let things happen. This one, I might actually cut parts of this out. I hate doing that during a mission of any kind, but yeah, sometimes you just run out of things to talk about, and this might be one of those cases. But okay, dude, are you not going to push it up here? Okay, we just take it out here to the left, make sure this guy doesn't fly into me. Yeah, I'll just do a 360. Get right onto this guy's tail. Okay, now you decide to accelerate to 180. Gotcha. Okay, so let's put in some more collective. Now just stay out here off of his left wing.